everybody, Music Overkill here, going to be giving you the new Orichalcos deck profile for this season. I've decided that the way the format is, I kind of had to give the deck an extra boost in terms of the OP balance. And so I kind of reverted it back to an old build, but at the same time there's some new stuff in here. And I would say it's not as busted as some of my older builds, but right now I'm just kind of testing things. And there's some new support coming. I have a few ideas I'm kind of tossing around in my head. And it may evolve back into an advanced format build pretty soon. But for right now, this is the deck as it is. And I'm going to be showing off the deck. Going to be explaining everything this time because for the new subscribers, if they want to take the challenge over Skype, they can know what everything does. Because this deck, as intimidating as it is, it's not unbeatable. It's hard, but it's not impossible. In fact, the meta decks right now in the actual game are more busted than this. Even with some of the crap I have in here. There is some new support in the side deck that I only side against under certain circumstances. So I'm just going to get into the deck. So we play double Kutora. You pay 500 to special summon this thing from your hand, or you can just set it. And then when he's on the field, all battle damage I take involving monsters I control becomes 0. And then when he's destroyed, Shinneros comes out. Shinneros says my attack is equal to how much damage this thing negated while it was on the field. And then when I'm summoned successfully, I special summon my arms, Dexia and Aristeros, from my hand, deck, or graveyard. Shinneros also comes from hand, deck, or graveyard. What Dexia does is whenever it battles, its attack becomes 300 more than the position of the monster it's battling. And Aristeros says that if you attack, the attack is redirected to me, and then my defense becomes 300 points higher than your attack. So it's a pretty good strategy to hide this in the back row, and then have these two up front with Orichalcos. It basically makes an attack lock, which is pretty nice. If Shinneros is removed from the field, or if he doesn't exist on the field, these two get destroyed instantaneously. And then if Shinneros is destroyed, we special summon the Divine Serpent, the anime version, where he has infinite attack and defense, and then when I drop him, I have to send my entire hand to the graveyard. My life points become 0, and you're like, okay, you have an instant monster, but you lose the game. Not necessarily. For as long as Divine Serpent remains on my side of the field, even though I'm at 0 life points, I still remain in the duel until this leaves my side of the field. So wrap your head around that. I also have to mill 10 cards to be able to attack with him. So he has a big attack, but he's actually kind of balanced by his own restrictions. So because if I get this out late game, he's just a sitting duck. And he's not immune to card effects by himself. Orichalcos Gygus. This card isn't part of the main engine, but it helps the main engine in that whenever it's destroyed by battle or effect, doesn't matter where he's destroyed from or to, he comes back with 500 extra attack at the cost of my draw phase for that turn. And then what's great about him is that every time I can keep smashing, racking up damage, and then he comes back as a giant beater because he gets 500 more attack every time he comes back. And then I only skip one draw phase because it's all on the same turn. We have a Mirror Knight Calling, which is my one ritual monster. When Mirror Knight Calling is ritual summoned successfully, you special summon these 4 Mirror Knight tokens. They each come in with a counter. While they battle a monster with a counter, their attack becomes equal to the monster they're battling. And then if they would be destroyed by battle or card effect, their shield counter gets removed instead. While this is on my side of the field, during each of my end phases, I can replace their shield counters. I think it's during either player's end phase, actually. Yeah. So they replace their shields while this is on the field, but they can only have one shield at a time. So that's the Mirror Knights. One tour guide and one singing guide. I did say there was banned stuff, and I'm sorry if I didn't say there was banned stuff in here beforehand, but it was kind of necessary just to give the deck that little extra boost for just testing the waters of the format. Plus, who doesn't love the tour guide seeing gameplay? One Orichalcos Rescue Rabbit. this is an Orichalcos card, so I could run 3 of it if I wanted to. But I'm sticking to the Rescue Rabbit limit, even though Rescue Rabbit's been power crept to oblivion. It's an Orichalcos card, so it's searchable with other cards in the deck. And other than that, it literally has the same effect as Rescue Rabbit. 3 soldiers. These are basically just Gene Warp Werewolves of the deck to use with the rabbit. And then the Tower, the 4th Swordsman card that was created by a friend of mine. I think he closed his YouTube, so I can't really link you to him. He quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And closed his YouTube, but he's a 2000 level 4. When this guy is summoned successfully, I get to add 1 of each of the Seal of Orichalcos, Orichalcos Deuteros, and Orichalcos Tritos from my deck to my hand. This card itself is unaffected by the Seal of Orichalcos, and all battle damage he does to my opponent is 0. And then if I control Orichalcos Kutora during either player's turn, I contribute this card to have Kutora absorb damage equal to this card's attack. So he's a +3, but I only play him as a homage to my friend, O'Malley1990, if you knew him. He closed his YouTube, so you can't find him on here anymore, but I don't really want to mention his real name for his, just for reasons, you know. And that's all the monsters. For our spells, we have the 3 Seals of Orichalcos, the Upper Deck Entertainment version that was used in the 2004 Duel the Master side event. This thing can't be negated, destroyed, or removed from the field. It's a spell speed 4 hand trap that I can send from my hand to the graveyard and negate and destroy anything that would start a chain, unless it specifically says I can't respond to it. You also can't chain to it, which is amazing. And as a field spell, it gives all my monsters 500 attack. My spell and trap code zones are also can also be used by monster cards. And if a monster in my monster cards in my back row can't be attacked unless if there's a monster in my front row. And then I can only take your soul as part of the challenge while this is active as a field spell. So if I don't play this, you're safe. Next card, Orichalcos Deuteros. I overlay this over the seal. It gains the effects of the seal. And every seal layer adds more effects. So the higher the layer, the more powerful the effects become. And what this thing basically does is, once per turn, I can increase my life points by 500 times the number of monsters I control. Gains the effects of the Seal of Orichalcos. And then this is the main aim of the deck, is Orichalcos Tritos. This thing is amazing because you overlay it over Deuteros, gains the effects of the Seal in Deuteros, and then whenever my opponent would activate a spell or trap card that affects monsters or monsters on my side of the field, negate, destroy it. Gains the effects of all other seals. So this plus Divine Serpent is essentially my win condition of the deck. Monster effects still work. Unfortunately, this is a monster effect heavy format, but I didn't want to completely shut off monster effects, just to be a little bit more fair, I guess. 1 Terraforming for the field spell searching. 1 Orichalcos Eye. Now we're in the custom support. This is a continuous spell card where I can pay 1,000 life points to add 1 Orichalcos card from my deck or graveyard and add it to my hand. And then we have Double Chosen Destiny. This card's pretty cool. It's like Orichalcos Eye, but it's a normal spell. I activate it and I can choose 1 or 2 effects. I either pay 1,000 to destroy any Orichalcos card on the field, ignoring its destruction conditions. So hey, if I'm about to lose a soul, I just play this, pop Seal, and we go to game 2. And then, or I can just add an Orichalcos card from my deck to my hand. Orichalcos Mirror is the ritual spell for Mirror Knight Calling. And the interesting thing about Orichalcos Mirror is that it special summons Mirror Knight Calling from the deck, which is pretty cool. Generic draw support, we have Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity. Nibbling's Treasure. Nibbling's Treasure is arguably one of the most powerful cards in the deck. What this does is I activate 1 spell card from my deck onto your side of the field. It can be any spell card as long as its conditions can be fulfilled. And then after that spell card resolves, this card resolves and I draw 5 cards. It's the draw 5 cards part that is really busted. This is why I only run 1 copy of this card now. And being able to Dark Hole my opponent and then basically plus 6 or 7 with 1 card is pretty broke, but it doesn't matter how many cards I draw if I draw nothing good. Because, like, all the monsters in the deck are dead draws. Like, these are dead draws. Serpent is a dead draw. This is a dead draw. And my vanillas can be dead draws if I draw multiples. So, it doesn't matter how many cards I draw if I draw crap. Double Dark Hole and Heavy Storm to use in conjunction with our Nibelung's Treasure. And my only other generic removal spell card is Harpy's Feather Duster. No Raigeki, I really couldn't find room for it. And with Dark Hole being able to be used with Nibelung's Treasure, it's not really necessary. One Reborn, I like bringing back Orichalcos Kutora and causing crazy bullcrap to happen all over again. One Spell Sanctuary, this card's pretty interesting. I activate it. Both players can add, when it's activated, both players can add any spell card from their deck to their hand. And then, while it's face up on the field, all spell cards can be treated as quick play spell cards. And they still get the quick play spell card rule where you can't activate them from your hand unless it's your turn. And they can't be activated the same turn they're set, unless they're like a normal spell and you choose not to play it as a quick play. So this card's kind of confusing, but I thought I'd clear that up because I had someone try to chain stuff from their hand on my turn while this was active. And no, you still abide by the actual quick play spell rules. And that's it for spells. Now for traps, we have the Orichalcos Stone. This card is like my other Broken Draw card, but it has to be triggered by an attack. When my opponent's monster declares an attack, I negate the attack and the battle phase. Then I draw 3 cards, and if any of them aren't Orichalcos cards, I can mulligan those to search Orichalcos cards from my deck to my hand. And then the battle phase ends. It used to end the turn. I decided to errata it to end the battle phase, because ending someone's turn is just too broken. It's already powerful as it is. One Torrential board wipe works well with Kutora and Shinros. My Solemn Brigade, 2 warning, 1 warning, 2 strike. And then my other fun trap is Crossheart. When a monster my opponent controls does battle damage to me, I flip this up, take permanent control of the monster that just attacked me. Pretty nice card. Now for extra deck. We have Levier, Alucard, and Sea Dragon, Leviathan Dragon. Just generic rank 3s because of the tour guides. Or tour guide and Sangan. 101, Double Castel, Diamond Dyer, Heartland Draco, Cowboy, and Abyss Dweller. That's all the real Xyz cards. Then for the custom support in the extra deck, we have 3 Orichalcos Dragon. This is a rank 4 3000 that can search Orichalcos cards by detaching materials once per turn. Pretty good. I usually only get one of these out per duel, though, because of Rescue Rabbit being at 1. Then this card. I managed to pick this up. Not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but I decided to put it in here for the time being. But we have number 90 Pinkie Pie. Not really going to explain what she does. Her effect is pretty good. So save your warning for this if I tour guide. I only use this if I absolutely have to, though, so I'm not going to just play it just to play it and be stupid. Broke. Now for the side deck, which is where some of the more interesting stuff is. Actually, most of the side deck is actually a legit side deck. However, there is some new support in here that I'm testing for the new season. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet until I see its full potential, and if it's too broken, I'll nerf it or remove it altogether. But we have Double Decree for things like Yosanju's. Triple Iron Wall for Cosmo and Monarch. Triple Restrict for Monarch. I absolutely think the deck is disgusting and cancerous. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, play it if you must, but I think the deck is just too good for its own good. One Great Leviathan. This is just here to wreck shit up if I want to. Put it in my main deck. He's another boss monster, aside from the Serpent, and his effect is pretty good. 2 Lullaby of Obedience for Cosmo and Monarch. This is the anime version where I pay 1,000 life points to take a level 8 or higher monster from my opponent's deck and add it to my hand, just so they can't use it. Magic Removal Virus Cannon. I'm debating on whether I want to keep this or not. It is a pretty overpowered card, But at the same time, I want to punish monarchs as hard as I can. I only run one. It is searchable with Spell Sanctuary, though. But I only run one of that as well. And I'm probably going to take this out if I can find something that's not as busted to use, but still good. Next up, we have these 3 mysterious cards. Now, these are part of a new series that I'm designing. That's really all I can tell you. I will show you them. They're called the Sealed series, and you can obviously see what they're inspired by. I like Pokemon as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually play the Pokemon TCG as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! But you can see what they're inspired by. I can't tell you what they do. I simply cannot. If you want to see these, then we have to go into Game 2 and I actually have to play them. Or draw them to be able to play them. And that's really that. This one, they're all spells. This one has a different card design, just because I wanted to, this one's special, and I wanted to do something different with it, but they're all spell cards. They're all normal spell cards. And that's basically the new Orichalcos deck. It's been a tough ride, this format. I really don't like where the direction the game is going, but I kind of have to adapt. Kind of have to reverse adapt, because I kind of went back to an older build with band stuff. But what are you going to do? I'm tossing around a few ideas in my head to how I can fix the deck and make it competitive. In the realm that it can be competitive. And rules for the challenge remain the same. Advanced format only. No burn stall, no Exodia. And this happens to you if you lose with the Seal of Orichalcos in play. If Seal of Orichalcos isn't in play, we go to Game 2. But if Seal of Orichalcos is in play during any game and a player wins, then the match is over. And I either have to release a soul, or this happens to you, I take your soul. I take your picture, put the seal around it. It signifies you losing the game, that you took the challenge. It goes on my wall on Facebook. And then I won't give names of any of you. You just have your picture on here. And then it's been a fun challenge. I originally invented the challenge to just take a break from the format and be like a fun, casual thing on the side. But everybody wants to play meta against it. So that everybody that has meta just plays meta against it. And I kind of had to change some things in the deck to compensate for the lack of speed. So this is the Orichalcos challenge as it is right now. Like I said, expect new support coming in the near future. And Mutant Overkill signing out. Thank you for watching. Hit those thumbs up and and keep those comments flowing. And thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Goodbye. And for a hint, if I can get some duel footage tomorrow, you might be able to see what these little babies can do. That's all for now. Stay tuned for the next challenge video, and see you all later.